What's up, Matt Durrett? 1277. That's my guess. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Barbara. So you see all that, right? You can see the comments. Okay.
Hey, Melissa.
Is that Melissa?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Toledo, Melissa. Thank you for being probably one of our more loyal followers. We're thinking about you. Enjoy tonight's episode, and hope you do well.
Hey, T. T's going to pour her an Ina-sized glass of wine. And Durrett says you're getting closer.
Getting closer. We've got a little Eric Church tonight. We like a little Eric Church around here. Hey, Robin. I found some charcoal.
Mrs. Barjaki. Hope y'all are doing well.
All right, give me 30 seconds and then tell me go.
Clarky. Hey, Clark. I miss you.
What up, Clark? We need some more bread, Clark.
This is Clark Sims.
Clark Sims.
Twins, yeah.
Ah, hey, Clark. Getting close. 1277, getting close.
Miss Tyler.
We got a good one tonight, guys. This weather's, once again, another beautiful day that we've got. I did say that if you were a fellow hunter, this was a good one to tune into. We're going to use a little product and make something, but I'll show you how you can adapt it if you're not a hunter.
Clark or Kesey.
Hey, Clark.
Allison Moore.
Hey, Allison. Clark, love the pictures from the other night of the kids. I love seeing that. That makes doing this worth it.
And hi, Tish. Tish is in too.
Hey, Tish. Hope the tenderloin works out good tonight.
Katie Spencer, Rob Painter. We got all kind of good buddies tonight. Jennifer Cheshire. And Robin says, hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Rob Painter says, what's up?
What's up? Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Let's get started.
All right, you can see, I think the reception to the new camera angle was good. I realized that a lot of times we focus so much on seeing from the side and seeing the ingredients, but I really wanted y'all to see what we're going to be able to do, how it's cooking, what it looks like on the egg. And so we're going to keep that angle going. Here's what we got tonight. We are doing some bone-in, beautiful pork chops here. We've got 2 of them. We're going to give those a heavy coat of kosher salt, black pepper. I have the cast iron in the egg already. We're sitting at 500 degrees, so it's getting nice and hot. We're going to sear those in there, and then I'm going to save it. We're going to do a little surprise on those, how we finish them at the end. So we're not just doing simply bone-in pork chops. You'll see what we're going to do. Now, here's where we get to the part where, for my hunters out there, like myself, this isn't going to be the prettiest thing to look at on camera. I just realized that. But we have some beautiful sausages here. We have the one at the bottom is a hot. The one at the top is a mild. These are venison sausages. We were fortunate enough this year to harvest 3 deer, 2 myself and 1 my son Turner. And we take those to Dino's Processing here in Memphis. Jeff McBride. I think a lot of y'all are familiar with Jeff if you're here in Memphis and you're a hunter. You're also familiar, if you've been in the grocery store, you recognize that name, Dino's. He does a fantastic job, so all of our deer this year were processed by him. This is our hot Italian sausage and mild that he's done, and I actually reached out to him today, and I like to give shout-outs. He is doing whole, half, and quartered beef, as well as quartered hog, all farm-raised. So if you know Jeff, you're looking for some product, get over to Dino's, pick it up, support them. Let's do it, okay? So let's get rolling. Like I said, we got our cast iron in here. It's sitting nice and hot. We're gonna use this cast iron for our pork chops. So I'm gonna take our chops here. I'm gonna give them I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna put a little oil in my skillet. I'm gonna go to I got a new salt and pepper thing, combo. My mom gave that to me. I was having to do it, so thanks, Mom. So we're not gonna be shy on this. These are thick cuts. We're using kosher, not iodized salt, like y'all know. A little salt and pepper. It's got a little wind going. It's all right. And I'll season that second side once we get them in the skillet. So we're gonna put just a touch of oil here in our cast iron, and it is cranking. I put that on there about, 15 minutes before we got going. And we are gonna use that cast iron to sear these chops. Now, when you go to lay them in there, really make sure that you press down on it. The reason we press down on it is because, let me tap the other side, we wanna make sure that, try to get every bit is touching that skillet, okay? What we're trying to do is, we're gonna get our sear on there. We want a little color. All right. A little salt, pepper on that second side here. All right.
What is this meal called, Larkin?
What is this meal called? These are, cast iron seared bone-in pork chops served with a little sweet sausage ragu with penne pasta. The sweet sausage ragu is the mix we're going to be making here with this beautiful venison. Mild and hot Italian sausage from Dino's Processing here that we have, and luckily we have a freezer full of 3 deer, so we have plenty of meat. Well, I wanted to use some of it tonight, and this is kind of going to show you if you've got some deer laying around and sausages, we're going to have a great recipe tonight to make. So
sweet sausage ragu is on the menu at the
yes,
restaurant.
Very popular dish at the restaurant. All right, so we've got our other all-clad. This is what we're going to use to cook our sweet sausage ragu in, okay? So we've laid our skillet on. We're going to put just a touch of olive oil in it, okay? And we're going to give that a second to warm up. Let me make sure I don't, we did a circle there. Make sure I don't hit my lid when I close it.
I have 2 questions.
2 questions. Go for it.
Terry Jordan asked, do you ever cook directly on the grill?
Yeah. What have we done? We did the cowboy ribeyes directly on the grill. Thought we've done another one. But I have to say that I like that you hear me talk about it. I love the deflector plate. So many times people worry about flare-ups, flames, things like that, and that's the great thing about that deflector plate. And I'm not saying it right. I think they call it like a eggerator. There's something that they call it, and I'm not using the correct term, but it's a fantastic product. You can walk away from it. It still gets super hot, but at the end of the day, if I was cooking burgers, if I was cooking a beautiful steak like we did with the cowboy ribeyes, I'm not having it. I'm going straight flame, okay? So, while we heat that oil up in our skillet for our ragu, our pork chops are on, that skillet is cranking hot. We're going to see some color out of those here in a second. We're going to get to our wine for the night. So, we're doing a little bit of Italian. Even though we're using the venison, it's made beautifully into Italian sausage by those people at Dino's. So we had to go with an Italian route. We're not going to go super fancy. We're not trying to get, too crazy with it. So, once again, up at Cheers, my fine folks at Cheers, I went by there today. Your hand's up. Is that a question?
That's my question.
All right, I like it.
Okay,
now I know.
So, Dino's, Nicole Barnett Huckabee is asking if that is the same Dino's that has the restaurant or a different Dino's.
Completely different Dino's.
Completely different, yeah.
Completely different, yeah. You might have just saw me. We're going to use some Parmesan later. My mind just went nowhere, and I ate a hunk of it.
And I will tell you, Terry, she's asking, she says, I still want to see your fire. That's the hardest part. So I have an idea because we want to keep the videos condensed to, you know, under 45 minutes if we can.
Yeah, last night's was long.
I'm thinking I might record him building the fire and posting that.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a smart idea.
Anyway.
We'll do a how to light a fire on a green egg video.
That's good.
We'll do that and then post it. So, all right, let's get to our vino for the night. Like I said, we're doing a little Italian, and there's going to be a little Italian flair on these pork chops at the end. At least my take on it. So tell me if I'm good there. We are doing, and you know, I never know if I say these things right. I've been in this business 25 years, whatever. So we're going to call it pepperly. It's got the little thing on the top. Is that how you pepperly?
Yeah.
Give it a little flair.
You're more Italian than me.
It is the Chianti Classico, done by Antinori. I think a lot of people are probably familiar with Antinori wines. I think that this will go fantastic with the Ragu. The Ragu is going to have a little spice. I'm going to show you in a second. We got a little garlic, crushed red pepper, Italian seasoning. And so the sausage is going to have a little spice in it. So the good fruit, the dryness of this wine, a little bit of spice in this wine is going to go great. So if you're at the store, thanks to the people at Cheers today, they picked this out for me. Get you a little bottle of pepperly. Would you like a little pepperly?
Sure, I'll try some.
All right.
Melissa Rudis loves this wine.
She does? All right.
I feel like we've had this somewhere before.
Pepperly? We probably had an Antinori. Antinori is a really classic Italian producer. I don't know if we've had the pepperly. We might have had some other things. So I'm going to leave that. Look, I'm not touching the pork chops. Folks, don't touch them 65 times in peak. Do whatever. It's not going to burn. It's not going to do anything. The more crust we have, the better we are. Okay? So we put our olive oil in our skillet here. All right? It's gotten hot. And let me show you what we've done is, like I said, I showed you the sausage. I went ahead and broke some down. If you have this, and this isn't going to be, you know, beautiful either, but it comes in your casings. Give it a squeeze. That's all you got to do.
It just grosses me out.
Yeah, I know. All right? You squeeze it out of that casing.
Hey, Joe Deanna. Oh. It was so good to see you today.
No.
I actually made it into the office, and I was able to see some faces I hadn't seen in a while. So it was good to see you, Joe, and Will, and Steph, and Dion. Those are all my friends I saw at work. And, of course, Amir.
All right, so.
Blankler says the selection is amazing.
The wine selection?
I think the food.
I think he's talking about the wine. I think he's talking about the wine. The food's going to be awesome too, but kudos to that. You may drop sample bottles to replace anything that I've bought at the house or at the restaurant whenever you want. So, what have we done? We've taken a little 50-50 combo of mild and hot Italian sausage. We put it in our skillet, a little bit of olive oil. We're going to begin browning this, okay? You like it?
I do. It's great.
The wine? Isn't it good?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this when I have a question, so you can let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready at any time.
Kate Cannon would like to know, did you brine the pork chops?
Kate, I did not brine the pork chops. I wasn't sure that I was even doing these until my mom said I have pork chops in my freezer at home, which was about 2 hours ago. So, but brining your chops is a fantastic idea. Kate is a fantastic cook. Everything I've ever had that she's made is wonderful. So she would certainly brine her pork chops. If I had more time, I would have given them a little bit of a brine. It keeps them juicier, little more plump. So great question, Kate. And I know you would have done it yourself. I was a little stuck on time. So
the delivery was a little behind.
The delivery was a little behind. So what are we doing here? We're taking our mild, our Dinos. All right, Jeff McBride, our Dinos, venison, mild and Italian sausage. All my hunters out there. Great recipe for you. And we are just kind of mashing this up. We want to brown it. We're not worried about, remember, don't worry about it sticking. Okay? We want it to stick a little bit.
What was the deer thing that everybody was worried about testing positive for?
Oh, well,
do you remember?
Yes. But
What's it called?
What was it called?
I can't
Someone's going to jump in here. It was called, does your deer have...
Not Corona.
No, it's not Corona, but it's something that affected their brains. Now we've moved on to Corona, and I forgot.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we lose Corona just as fast as we lost the deer thing.
Well, I will say, when you go to Dino's to have your deer processed, before you're giving it back, they take a sample. It is sent off to a lab. It is tested, and it is showed clear through the state of Tennessee. I cannot remember what it was called either. I can't believe that because it's all we talked about. But these deer are clear. So,
CWD.
CWD, chronic wasting disease.
Glankler and Huckabee got it.
Thank you.
Sorry I called you by your last name, Nicole.
All right, so CWD. These are CWD clear. Chris, remember, Chris, I have a lot of these deer. You have a lot of duck. We need to swap, and we can be doing some duck on here next time, and you can be cooking some deer. So let's take a little peek at these chops. I like what I'm seeing on the bottom of this cast iron. Yes, sir. God, there's nothing better than that. Like, that makes me so happy to pull these off and see this color, see what we're getting. We're going to leave them on that side for another minute. All right. So we're browning up our beef, our venison. We've got a little bit of chopped garlic here. I hope my executive producer's talking to one of our children. It's in the camera. This is probably, I'm not going to use all this. I'm going to use what would be about a tablespoon chopped garlic, because I know that the venison has probably got a little, in the mix, has probably got a little garlic and stuff in it. So you want to be aware of that. You don't want to overdo it. So we're going to add a little garlic. And then in here, I have a little combo. I've got a little bit of crushed red pepper, a little bit of Italian seasoning. I don't want to go too much. I know we're using a spicy, 50% of our sausage is spicy, so I don't want to go crazy. So I'd say we have about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning and a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I'm just going to give this a good pinch.
Justin Timms was worried about missing the ragu.
Don't worry,
You hadn't
Justin.
missed it yet, buddy.
All right, so we've got our seasonings in there. We're going to continue as this breaks down. Kind of break it up. We want it in smaller pieces. All right, that's smelling like awesome. Awesome. Little OCD cleanup for me. I'm going to go ahead and flip. We didn't see this other chop. There we go. That's why I love the cast iron. I mean, you don't get that. You don't get that on an open flame grill. When you lay that cast iron, you get a great crust. We're good to go. So we're going to flip these over. And remember, I'm not going for 160 degrees on these pork chops. I want a little color in there. I want a little pink. I'm going to put this down. All right, and I'm going to let that crank up. And we've got about a minute here that I want to let some things cook up. I'm going to have a sip of, excuse me, babe.
Sorry.
I'm going to have a sip of vino. And now would be a great time for you to raise your hand.
Well, I did have a couple that I missed over. I wanted to
Okay.
thank Ray Ravel for sharing videos with his friend.
Thank you,
Girl
Ray.
Joyce. We appreciate anytime.
Anytime anyone shares a video, it is very appreciated. I never thought we'd get to the point where we would have 300, 400 views on these. I get comments about them, people saying they enjoy, they look forward to it. We're just having fun, and we love interacting with y'all, and I love the banner with Catherine and I, and she does a great job, and we talk about a little wine, and we talk about a little food, and to me, there's nothing better.
This is like maybe one of the only times we even get to talk all day.
Yeah, really, until we get out here.
Terry asked, would you usually cook your sauce all day?
No.
Okay.
This typically, when we make this for the restaurant, we make it in a huge batch. It takes about an hour and a half to make it. It's not a Sunday gravy. For anybody that, I use Goodfellas all the time. If you're a Goodfellas guy, Godfather guy, they always talk about Sunday gravy, and an all day long process. Look, we don't have time for all day. We learned to adapt a little bit, get something done in about an hour, and we're good to go. So we're actually going to knock this sauce out here, hopefully in about 25 minutes. So,
I do have a question.
yeah.
So the salt, like when you think about what you can get processed at Dino's, what else can you, like, from the deer? Because I'm not like a huge deer, like wild game meat person,
Right.
but I do like what you cook here, and I like what Robin does with the spaghetti.
Right.
Like, what other things can you do to incorporate it into some of your pastas
Okay.
at the restaurant?
So, well, let's not talk about pasta. Well, let's just talk about numerous things. You know, when I go to him, I have these deer dropped off. I think it's called, and Jeff, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, it's like the Deerman Special. A lot of times you can go and select exactly what you want. I don't want to do that. He offers a deal where you check the box, and it comes with an entire assortment. So we get summer sausage, 2 different styles. We get mild Italian sausage. We get hot Italian sausage. We get breakfast sausage. We get hamburger meat, 80-20 blend. We get stew meat. We get our back straps. That's anytime you've ever heard anybody talk about deer hunting, oh, the back strap, oh, the back strap. And they're fantastic. They're like a tenderloin, okay? So there's numerous options when you have this meat processed after it's been harvested that you get back. I mean, we get Slim Jims, beef jerky. The list goes on and on. So there's numerous whole roasts. There's 24 meals you can make out of what is given back to you. So, I like it. God, this is a pretty sight, folks. Look at our meat on the egg, super hot, browning up. You know what? We've got a little grease in there, a little fat. I'm not worried about it. We're not draining it. We're not doing anything. It's flavor. We're keeping it in there. Okay.
Tim would like to see the bottle of wine again.
Yep.
And I would like a little splash of it as well.
We good there?
We're good.
Pepoli, Antinori, Chianti.
Thank you.
You know, so I'm Chris, we're right. This is your product. Respond yes or no before
You said that was.
That
that's
is
what you were
okay.
talking about.
So great product here by the Athens family, Athens Distributing. They really cover from east to west on the state. You know, Mr. Jackie Aaron, his sons, Johnny and Mike. I know Chris that we're talking about. He works there. Great company, great family. Relationship we've had with them for 30 years, and they carry some beautiful products, and I'm glad that we got this one for them tonight. So here's what we got to do. In my fancy new cups, we got a little white wine. Doesn't have to be anything super fancy. We had a little leftover of what we drank earlier last night, so we're going to put a little bit of white wine in this pan here. And what I haven't shown you is down below, we've got our crusette. We've got a little bit of our marinara sauce from the restaurant. All right, because we're going to start ladling that marinara over the top of this ragu. We're going to let it cook up. Our pork chops are awesome. Yeah.
So, this isn't a question anybody else asked, but it was just something I was thinking about.
Okay.
If somebody, once the restaurant opens back up, if
Yep.
somebody wanted to buy that marinara, you sell it at the restaurant,
Yeah, we sell
right?
it by the quart.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Great executive producer there. All right, I'm going to try.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
That's why they pay you big bucks. All right. We're going to give that a second. A little cleanup. And I'm going to start getting ready for what our little surprise is going to be. We can talk about it on our pork chops. So the pork chops as they are right now would be fantastic. You pull them off. You have a beautiful salt and pepper crust on there. We're going to try and hit about a 145 to 150 temp in the middle. Could be under, could be over. That's okay. All right. We don't go crazy over that. But to kind of kick it up, and who says kick it up a notch? Let's kick it up a notch.
I cannot.
I don't know. Somebody says that.
Emerald.
Does Emerald say kick it up a notch? I mean, he is the king of all this live cooking. So
Yeah, I think
we're going to
he
kick
is.
it up a notch. So what do we have? How are we going to do that? We have some beautiful Goat Hill Farm honey. This is from Germantown, Tennessee. I think my parents actually got this at Germantown Hardware. So we've got a little honey.
Emerald.
Emerald. Okay, you're right. And
Thanks,
then
guys.
we have this super fancy Kroger balsamic vinegar. You don't have to go crazy on please don't go to the store and buy a $30 bottle of balsamic. I mean, unless you're just doing something super special, you don't have to. All right? Because more than likely you're making a salad dressing out of it. You're just going to throw it on marinate with it. Just get the Kroger brand or wherever you go. So we're going to take the lid off, and we're going to add about a cup. That hit the ground. Of balsamic vinegar, and then we are going to pour a little bit of this honey in there.
Okay, let's do
That is. I don't know who Goat Hill Farm honey is out of Germantown, but it's fantastic. All right, so we've done about a cup
Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
We have done about a cup of balsamic vinegar to about, 2 tablespoons of that Goat Hill Farm honey. We're going to mix that up. All right, and before we surprise y'all, we're going to go ahead and start adding some marinara in. This is all we got to do. We've browned it, okay? We've added a little white wine, garlic, crushed red pepper, a little bit of Italian seasoning. Here's our neighbors, the Etts. Hey!
Hey, guys.
You know, we get a lot of people that walk by, and that's good. We like it. All right.
So, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Tell me when you're ready for a question.
I'm always ready for a question.
So, Terry's asking, it's safe to eat pork not cooked all the way. Talk about that and why.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that tells someone to eat pork that has color in it.
Sweet sausage ragu.
We have, see our pork
Deer
chops, Brian? Cast iron pork chops, little sweet sausage ragu. On the egg, you know? Do you have an egg?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. It's looking good.
While y'all go on your walk, I'm just going to sit
Pizzas. Do you have your... We're interacting with our neighbors. He wants to do pizzas on the egg. I'm very nervous at pizzas on the egg.
Well, we need to practice.
I did it one time and it turned into disaster, and I'm scared to do it live.
Practice tomorrow
Okay.
for Saturday.
All right, let's do it.
Let's practice.
Okay. We can do it.
Saturday.
Sounds good.
All right. See
So
y'all.
did you talk
See ya.
about, did you
All
talk
right,
about
so-
why you don't have to cook it all the way?
Well, I mean, I just don't. You know what? I don't have the proper USDA answer for that. I think the quality of pork nowadays has increased immensely, and I think that allows you to eat that quality product. Look, I'm not going to eat a raw piece. We're not going to eat it rare, mid-rare, but a little bit of color in there, I think you're fine. You're good to go. So we have added our marinara sauce into our ragu. All right, our pork chops. Let's see our second side. Bam. Emerald.
that looks
Bam.
good, beautiful.
Beautiful. All right. Number 2. Beautiful color, cast iron. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave our cast iron right there. We have a cup of 3/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of honey. We're going to pour that directly over the top, and let me see if I can do this without burning my hand off.
Wow.
You can see the sizzle on that. So you have that sugar. That sauce is going to thicken up over the top of these pork chops. All right, I'm going to lower the lid. I'm going to grab my pasta from inside. We're going to place it in our ragu. We're going to stir it around. We're going to cut a little pork chop. We're going to plate up.
I
Give me
was
just a
worried I
second.
wasn't going to be able to smell this because my allergies are flaring
That
up.
that balsamic, when you heat that balsamic
Uh-huh,
vinegar,
it smells
I mean, it gives
delicious.
off an immediate punch of a smell. So
Well, one thing that we like to do is we'll take our EVOO, the extra virgin olive oil, put it in a plate, and we'll add some of that balsamic to it. The kids love it just to like dip their bread in it. It's really, really good. So if you have any like crusty bread or whatever, and you can kind of fix it up the way you want it, put some red pepper in it, black pepper or whatever, but we love when we add a little balsamic vinegar to it.
what's that?
The olive oil.
Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna clean up. We're gonna get a little spot here to cut.
Will Goodwin says, mouth be watering. And
This is a good one.
Yep. It smells great, Will.
All
Aunt
right.
Gracie and Patty Sockenbacher are in the house.
Take those pork chops off. All right, I'm gonna let them rest. I'm gonna let that sauce continue to thicken up. Grab my pasta.
That's right, we used to do that at Macaroni Grill. Allison remembers. I miss you, Al, and those babies. And Melissa said, oh my God, I forgot about that. With some Asiago to dip the bread in. Like, we used to get this Asiago sauce.
Yeah.
Like, we'd get our break at Macaroni Grill.
Well, tell them what you're talking about, though.
I already
Where-
did. I talked
oh.
about it. The olive oil and balsamic vinegar with bread.
Okay.
You know, at
But
Macaroni
no, I'm
Grill.
saying that you were at you were
Yeah,
at
I used to
Macaroni
wait
Grill
tables
first.
at Macaroni and Grill with several of our friends. Melissa is one of them. And the Asiago sauce was something that we would dip our bread in during our breaks.
All right, so we've added our penne. Beautiful ragu. That venison sausage. 50-50 of mild and hot. All right, a little olive oil. A little crushed red pepper. A little bit of Italian seasoning. Our sauce back there is going great. I am going to trim our little pork chop. And like we talked about the other night on our ribeye, we've got that bone. We want to carve around the side because we're not getting rid of that bone. People are going to love it. Would we let these typically rest? Yes, we would, but we're doing it for the sake of time. So we're going to cut right around that bone. All right, this is what comes off that beautiful piece there. Beautiful meat. We're going to cut at our angle. Oh, this is going to be wonderful.
Did you just taste test?
I did.
Good.
Beautiful crust. All right, number 2. Another taste.
What happens to that bone? Can you use it for anything?
Yet to gnaw on
Oh.
when we're done.
Italian nachos.
Italian
Somebody,
nachos.
what Katie Padditz or Katie Orkisi's mom said her favorite at Mac Grill was the Italian nachos. If I knew it, I bet Melissa does, but I don't know it, Kay.
I've never even heard of Italian nachos before.
Livy Fergus says, or I'm sorry, I always call everybody by their maiden name. A Bear says, I have to quit watching these videos. I don't have the skills and it makes me want to eat out. I'm coming for y'all once we are allowed to go out.
Well, hey, that's why I'm doing these videos, so you can get the skills to do this. All right. There's our platter. I mean, and like I said, I just want to show y'all one more time. We sliced that on the bias. We have beautiful pork dripping. We're going to fan that pork out.
It smells like barbecue sauce.
It does?
I
I wonder what that is.
Can I put barbecue sauce on it?
Thanks to old Eric Church. There's our bones. We'll lay our bones up top. All right, one more thing. Sorry.
I like your music selection tonight. I need to see Eric Church in concert.
I want to too.
It would be fun, wouldn't it, bud?
Can we go for Patrick's birthday?
Well, if we ever get out of this mess,
Patrick, you like Eric Church more than me.
we'll do it.
Come back. All right, so we've got our pork cut, beautiful. Our sauce is still reducing. That's what we want. I mean, look how thick that's getting. It's like a foam almost. Balsamic vinegar, honey. We're gonna plate our pasta.
Terry says she made blackened chicken sandwiches on the grill today and thought you would be proud.
Congratulations.
Sounds fantastic.
That does sound fantastic. All right, just beautiful.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh, ruh-roh. It's all right. We don't worry about stuff like that. Beautiful venison, mild hot Italian sausage from Dino's Processing here in Memphis. Once again, if you're looking for some beautiful beef right now, if you're looking for some beautiful pork, Dino's has got it. Give Jeff McBride a call over there. All right, stop by and pick it up. Now, here's the fun part. Now, be very careful with it. This is like lava. I mean, if you drip some of that on your skin, you'd have a bad 2 weeks. So we're going to take that. We're going to pour that right over the top. The flavor is going to be so intense on this honey balsamic. It's going to go wonderful with our wine. I'm not going to set that back on the stove. It'll turn my cast iron.
That smells delicious.
Yeah, it'll turn my cast iron into like a brick if I forget about that. So we're going to shut it down. We're going to do our favorite part. We're going to make it snow a little Parmesan over the top of this ragu.
Making it snow.
Little plate white because I got to keep it neat. Folks, let me get sideways. How are we there?
Perfect.
That's what we got. Beautiful bone-in pork chops, cast iron seared, finished with a honey balsamic glaze. And then we have penne pasta with a beautiful venison Italian sausage ragu, a little Italian seasoning, crushed red pepper, white wine, and marinara sauce. Fantastic. Super simple, too. So I hope those people that maybe have some deer sitting in their fridge after this past season, pull this out, use that for your recipe. Once again, everybody, we're going to enjoy this Pepoli Chianti from Athens Distributing, Antonori, Cheers, Liquor Store in Collierville. We're going to enjoy this weather, enjoy the kiddos. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Please share if you can. And have a great night. Enjoy your family. Cook together.
Thanks,
Cheers.
y'all. Cheers.